Hello and welcome to Montpellier for this 5th edition of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. I'm joined here by Barbara Emmanuel, Manager of Toronto Food Strategy. Firstly, welcome to Montpellier. Your first time here?
My first time here. It's beautiful. Love it.
So can you just tell us about what your current projects with regards to food systems and climate change?
So I'm the manager of the Toronto Food Strategy, and Toronto has a very long history in food policy and food systems transformation work. In fact, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this month of the Toronto Food
Many
Policy
happy returns.
Council. Thank you. And what is beginning to emerge is the scientific, well, not even beginning, it's been for years, but in the last few months, there have been several scientific reports, global reports, on the importance of food system transformation for climate change action at the city level, with urbanization happening globally and the call to action and growing, very much needed awareness of climate change action. Cities have a major role to play in this field, and within the city, food plays a major role in terms of promoting food security, in promoting sustainable food systems, everything from how we grow our food to how we process and consume and dispose of food waste. So it's a huge growing field, and it's very encouraging to see the momentum happening as evidence here in Montpellier.
Of course, yeah. And so how are you implementing this action in Toronto?
Well, the City of Toronto has, I'm glad to say, just declared a climate emergency, which was a big deal for our city. I go from here to the C40 summit in Copenhagen, where our mayor is going to be signing the Good Food Cities Declaration, which is looking at strategies to promote plant-based consumption through procurement of food at the city level, and to reduce food waste and loss. So our work at the food strategy in the city is being articulated through collaborative efforts right across multiple city departments, with civil society, with the Food Policy Council, to take very, very concrete steps to promote sustainable food systems.
So what are you hoping to achieve being here at this 5th edition of the Milan Pact here in Montpellier, where we do kind of foster engagement between cities?
We learn so much from practices in other cities, and we collaborate with a number of global entities, including RUAF, which again also has a long, long history in food systems work and municipal government. They're celebrating 20 years of doing that work. So deepening our collaborative efforts with these other partners, both in a bilateral city-to-city level as well as organizationally. This gathering is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to network with multiple partners and like-minded thinkers, because sometimes you can feel a little bit isolated in your own work, and when you find like-minded people who are doing really important work in cities all over the world, it's very exciting and affirming and informative.
But is this kind of going to a local level as well, or is it staying kind of at more of a kind of a global level? Are the people being affected by this? Are you witnessing a kind of a paradigm shift in behaviour of local people in Toronto?
Absolutely. So it's about changing the way people eat, excuse me, and the way people just, reducing food waste. But it's also about promoting community food security and resilience. So we're working at the grassroots level on a number of initiatives that promote resilience and food security, because that's all connected. So the City of Toronto did a food vulnerability assessment in the context of climate change, and through that we were able to identify the vulnerabilities and the communities most likely to be impacted, which gives us a vehicle to target our interventions and to work. It's not a surprise, I think this would be true everywhere in the world, that the most vulnerable populations are disproportionately impacted by the impacts of climate change. So in Toronto, it's flooding, it's power outages, it's extreme snow, extreme heat, and it's the lowest income population groups that are disproportionately impacted, whether it's where they live geographically on floodplains or living in inferior housing. So we're working with a number of partners to build that resilience at the grassroots level through specific interventions. But what's very important, I think, is to work top-down, bottom-up at the same time. So you've got to actually work with the community to facilitate and engage and come up with strategic solutions, but enable it through policy and resourcing from multiple sources, both at the city and then going up to national level.
Great.
So
Well, thank you very much for that,
thank
Barbara.
you.
Thank you.